spirituality also has grains of this, and I'd love to hear from you, Mr. Piramal, on this, because I read in the book that you gave Aparna her first copy of the Gita. The Gita is a scripture that talks about disciplining the mind, calls the mind a naughty monkey in places, that same sort of playful strain. What do you think is the role of spirituality and scriptures in mental well-being and kind of dealing with darkness?
I think we should just appreciate where the Gita was spoken. The Gita was spoken first by the Lord in the midst of a battlefield to a young person, Arjuna, who was not even 30 and who was the most skilled archer of his time. And yet, normally when you have a book which is written on spirituality or where you speak about spirituality, it would be probably in the Himalayas or somewhere in the forest. So why was it spoken right in the midst of all this? I think there's a purpose behind it. The purpose is that it is a lesson for all of us. What Aparna said actually in the introduction, it struck me. It's not for the 1% who are affected, it's for all of us. So this is a book which was given for all of us. And what was the condition of Arjuna, which almost all of us go through sometime in our life? He was scared because he saw such a big army on the opposite side. He was depressed. He had just given up. He surrendered his arms. And then he was finding a lot of reasons, and he gave a lot of logic. Nothing of it was really, it was logical, but it was all, behind it was the fear, it was the depression. And then at the end of it, Krishna brings him out of that depression. So in some ways, it relates to all of us. Every day we go through it. And the other thing to remember is in this, that though it is the Lord himself who is the charioteer of Arjuna, or who is his best friend, but Arjuna has to make the effort to come out. It's not that you can sit back and say, okay, the Lord will look after me. And second, as important is that he goes through a lot of difficulty. It's not an easy battle. So in spite of all this, I think to me, that's a big lesson for all of us. And if I see Aparna thriving today, it is just another example of what has been taught in the Gita.
Wow, the Gita is a mental health text. That's so wonderful. But I've also seen
it is the world's best anti-depression manual, I think. Seriously.